Hello, everybody. Welcome again to another episode in this channel, Little Lamp Bible Stories. This is a channel where we share God's words and God's love, one story at a time. So, today's story is going to be about the Daniel in the lion's den. Welcome. All right, story time. So, there was this man called Daniel in the land called Babylon. He was a very good man. He loved God. He prayed every time, morning, afternoon, evening. He loved God. He liked to be honest. He was an honest man. But there were some people in the country that were jealous of him. Some people who felt, why is he praying? What does he think he is? Does he think he's better than anybody? Who does he think he is? And they ran to the king and said, "Oh King, Your Majesty, we want to just give you just do something. Let everybody stop praying to their God and only bow to you." The king was like, "Okay, I like the idea. It will show that I'm a strong king. I'm powerful. I'm mighty." And then he said, "Okay, all right, I agree." And he decided to sign that bill into law. But of course, Daniel was a man who prayed to God and not to any other man. So Daniel kept praying to his God day, morning, evening, and afternoon. He kept praying to his God. And then one day, those friends who were jealous knew that Daniel probably was not going to change. So they ran to the king, people who gossip, them, you have some of them as people around you. They want you to do something, to pull you down, and they want to do something they like quickly they run to tell off you. So they ran to the king. I was like, "Oh king, we know someone who is disobeying, somebody who is not following what you have said for him to do. Everybody in this country is bowing down and worshiping and praying to you. We know one man who has not been doing that, and the man's name is Daniel. But along the line, the king knows Daniel because he must have been a straight man, and he was like, oh, he felt really sad that Daniel was the person who didn't obey him. So they gave him a suggestion and said, "Do you know what? Whoever does not obey the king put it into law that person will be killed, will be thrown into the lion's den." And then they brought Daniel, and the king was very sad. And when they brought Daniel, the king was like, "Oh, Daniel, I'm sure you'll be like, Daniel, but why? You should have just maybe, if you're going to close, you should have closed your window or gotten too high, so that these people won't see you. Now, I can't take my words back. I can't change what I've said. It has to be done because I am the king." So the king, in the sadness, because of that was been put into law, and all those people who are enemies pulled Daniel and threw him into the lion's den. But my first question is, why do they need a lion's den? Like, what exactly has been happening there? Why do they need a lion? Like, is it for security reasons? Is it for war? Anyways, that would be a story for another day. So Daniel was thrown into the lion's den, and then the door was closed. And then, but when Daniel was going to go in, the king said, "May your God save you, Daniel." And then Daniel was thrown into the lion's den and was going to stay there till the next morning. The king could not sleep. The king was worried. He kept turning in the bed. He kept pacing around, hoping that, oh my gosh, I don't know what Gadan is going to be killed by the lions are going to tear him to pieces. Oh, he kept thinking, oh my God, I wish it could I have changed it, could I have done something? Oh Daniel, oh poor Daniel, oh poor Daniel. He could not sleep. By the dawn, once it was morning, the king ran to the lion's den, hoping and praying that at least something has happened. Maybe they didn't kill him fully, he's still alive or a little bit. Lo and behold, Daniel was gallivanting around the room with the lion. They were doing probably chatting. I'm sure that night, maybe he even rested his head on the lion's body and slept on, and maybe put his leg on the other lion, had a very good sleep while the king was, worried for him and all that. And when the king came to the lion's den and they opened the door and he saw Daniel. I'm sure he was like, oh my God, Daniel. He was like, God, Daniel, are you okay? Daniel, are you okay? And Daniel was like, don't worry, King, Your Majesty. The Lord sent his angels and shut the lion's mouth. And they didn't even hurt me. As a matter of fact, I rested my head on one of them's body, and my feet on the other person's, or the other lion. So we're good here. We had a very nice. I had a very nice sleep, and yeah, and that was so much relief for the king that, oh my God, whatever it is, your God has saved you, and you do not hurt. And Daniel said, you know what? Everybody must have to believe in Daniel's God. For he is the only living God who rescues and saves. And Daniel went about trusting God. But do you know what happened along the line? Those people who connived and said whatever about Daniel were all thrown into the lion's den. And you know what? But before they even landed inside, the lion was already like grabbing them and tearing them into pieces. Well, that's not the video, that's not the information I want to give you in this story. What I wanted to say in this story was that the Lord saved Daniel. Daniel was saved from the lion's den. The lions could not hurt Daniel. The Lord kept the lion's mouth sealed. The Lord came to be with Daniel at that very hot time, and Daniel was not harmed. And that, you know, helped the kings believe as well in God. And the king gave a decree that everybody should believe in the God that Daniel serves. That the God that Daniel serves is the only true God. Isn't that funny? And then sometimes I tend to think like, I'm sure Daniel would be like, oh my gosh. But I'm sure Daniel probably felt, if I was gonna die, I don't care, but I'm not changing. I'd rather probably be dead than, but God felt, I'm not letting you alone in that pain. And then that comes to the moral of this story today. Sometimes we might probably be like we're in this pain, in this situation. Maybe you've tried and then somehow the world just seems to have gone against you, and then you've been the one on the right path. I need you to know that you're not alone. The Lord God is with you, and he will rescue you from the mouth of the lions. He will rescue you from the hands of your oppressors, from people who have connived to hurt you. The Lord will rescue you. Yeah, because he's a good God and he loves us. Again, this comes to the end of this story. Like I said, this is a channel where we share God's love, one story at a time. Like, subscribe, and share this video among your friends. And turn on the notification bell so that the moment I drop another video, you will be notified. Okay, like I said, my name is Namaka, and this is Little Lamp Bible Stories. See you next time. Bye.